We're here with MLS Canada Men's National Team head coach Jesse Marsh. We'll start with questions in the room. Joshua, go ahead.
Jesse, you made it. Oh, right. Jesse, you made it further than any CONCACAF team at Copa America. You also said that this U.S. team was the measuring stick for the region. What does this win do for the group and their belief that they are now the best team in the region?
I don't know. I don't want to start talking like that yet. I'll talk more about just the adaptation from this team to be the team that I want them to be tactically, mentality-wise. It's been a real pleasure to coach them, and that's what I think you see tonight. It's the discipline, it's the organization, it's the aggressiveness, it's the understanding of what we want the game to look like. And I challenged, I think I told this to you already, but I challenged them when they came back in that we couldn't pick up where we left off, that they had to continue to employ that I knew were going to make them better players with their club teams. And I think as soon as I saw the first training session this week, I was like, well, they've done exactly that. And when I watched them play with their clubs, I could see that they have pushed themselves. So yeah, I mean, look, first half was really strong, really strong. And we probably should get into half with more than one. We're still struggling to really capitalize on a lot of our moments, but we'll get better and better at that.
And if you have questions,
Done?
If you have
Josh,
questions
one more?
on Zoom, please raise your hand. Josh, good. Go ahead.
What'd you make of Ali Ahmed tonight? Felt like maybe his best performance in a Canada shirt.
Fantastic. But I spoke with him, and again, talking about pushing himself with his club, I've been watching him play with his club, and he's elevated his performances a lot. And so I said to him, look, it's not like you're a different player, but you're a lot more mature player. You're a lot more dynamic player, and you're being rewarded for it in all phases of the game. And so I was sure, because of the way he trained this week, I was sure he was going to have an outstanding game. And he delivered. He was very good. And the other one I would say is Matthew Chouanier. Chouanier was very good, all over the place, good on the ball, covering ground, winning duels, really outstanding. Both of those guys I thought were outstanding.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey.
What's the person?
So Jeff, he was at my first career professional match. We're old men. No, we're old men.
You were a shootout specialist.
Yes, unfortunately, that's all Bruce would give me.
What's the personal satisfaction in this game being not just an American, but obviously you interviewed for the job. Clearly you've been about the team and you've said that over and over.
Yeah.
But there must be a little bit more, right?
Yeah, of course, I enjoyed it. And I was certain that we would play well. I wasn't certain we would win, but I was certain that we would play well. And so from the beginning to see us with confidence and personality and loud on the pitch. It was not easy with the heat and everything, but like we were on the front foot the whole match. And yeah, they had a couple moments where they have quality players, specifically Christian, that can pull off a play or two, but I thought we managed him really well. And we were aggressive and there was no, even when we went down 2-1, there was not a moment where we started to become unstable or become afraid of the situation. We were strong, we were committed, and made me proud. Made me proud to be their coach, that's for sure.
Hey Jesse, Sanjay from Backheel and the Scuff podcast. 2 questions for you. The first one, you talked recently in interviews about giving guys specific concepts or habits that you want to see them employ with their club. Could you talk about specifically something you saw tonight, whether it was an individual thing or collective thing that you're really satisfied with?
Yeah, well, in general, I would say just physically inserting themselves in the game more, so more sprinting, more initiating contact in duels, more making the last step in pressing actions, more ball winning in pressing actions, and less playing backwards and more seeing things forward so that we can win balls and lead ourselves into attack. The first goal was almost a direct action. Even the second goal was very, very good counter pressing, winning the ball and playing forward again and winning, and scoring. So, I mean, there's a lot more than that. But in general, I challenge them to look more mature, to be more physical, to be fitter, to be stronger, and to play like that. And clearly they're adapting in a really good way.
And the second one, there were long stretches where you guys played a pretty high line and the U.S. didn't really test that much until later in the game. Why do you think that was? Do you think it's because of the recovery speed of your back line or other things? And just how you felt the U.S. kind of responded to that chess match?
Yeah, look, I mean, we're always trying to be compact. So you would call it a high line. I would just, of course, the compactness is, if you want to be a good pressing team, compactness is key. And then if they're showing body language like they're going to play long, then the center backs and the back line has to have really good behaviors to be ready to drop and cover space in behind. And you need a goalkeeper that wants to be a last defender. So this is a tactical approach as to how to make it difficult on the opponent. And look, they have some quality, so they broke us down. We certainly won a lot of balls in the midfield, and if we're a little bit sharp in the final third, I think we would have turned a lot more of these transitions into more goals. But this is how I coach, right? I coach aggressive football, but I try to coach intelligent football. And these players are capable of playing the way that I would like them to play, and they're adapting and learning and excited about the process.
Hey Jesse, you talked during the Copa America about the fact that there was this idea out there that it would be harder to implement a high pressing style at the national team level, where you have guys less, that you felt like that wasn't true. I wonder what you've learned about kind of the transition from the club game to the national team game. Obviously, Pochettino is expected to be named the coach, of kind of what challenges he might see in that transition, and how you see him maybe trying to take over this team.
Yeah, I don't, that's for him. I've answered enough questions this week and probably brought on more pressure than I needed to about the team and the players and the coaching and all this. I mean, I'm not, believe me, I'm not bitter. People think I'm bitter. But most people, if they ask me a question, I answer it. That's how I operate in the media. I'd rather coach our team 100%, no questions asked. I'd much rather coach Canada than the US right now, right? You can see the mentality that's been developed. You can see the way this team plays. You can see how much they love playing for the national team, and they're willing to put their careers and lives and the way they play on the line to be the best they can be for each other and for the team. And that's all you can ask for as a coach, specifically if you want to play the way that I want to play, which is aggressive, front foot, going after the opponent, trying to press them, trying to play in their end, also trying to be good on the ball and create opportunities and command the game with the ball. But that game I felt like was in control, and it was because of the qualities we have in the team, the mentality we have in the team, and what we're developing as a group. So again, really excited to be here, really excited. Wouldn't change coaching this team right now for anything in the world.
We'll go to Zoom. Neil Davidson, go ahead.
Thank you. Neil Davidson from the Canadian Press in Toronto. Jesse, what was the problem for Alistair Johnston's early exit?
He said he felt a little bit of tightness in his hamstring, and so he just felt it was smarter to step out. He did that. If you go back to the Holland game, he felt a little bit of tightness, so he kind of knows his body. And then from that game, he was able to recover and play against France. So let's hope that it'll be a similar type situation. And look, it's really nice to see that we have depth, that you can bring a guy like Richie Larea in, we brought a lot of guys in off the bench that I thought when we brought guys from the bench, we got stronger, which was good to see, really good. So, but I'm hopeful that Alistair will be okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Charles Bone.
Jesse, can you hear me?
Yep, we got you.
Congrats. You did ruffle feathers, I think, south of the border for speaking about the U.S. and the lead up to this one. But the game plan suggested you know this team pretty well, maybe better than they know themselves. How did you craft this approach based on the United States' strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, look, our players know the U.S. national team pretty well too. We had a tactical plan. Again, it wasn't the easiest to prepare for, but I had anticipated that Mikey with Greg Berhalter being a big influence for him would play a similar style of football. So we were able to craft a match plan to deal with some of those things. And I thought, again, we were pretty clear and we executed really well. So we knew, like, I don't have to tell the players that Christian Pulisic is an important player for their team. He knows that, they all know that, but certainly making sure that when he would get on the ball, that we were closing space, that we were being aggressive with him, that we were trying to eliminate his ability to have time and space on the ball was important. And then in build-up, we wanted to make it hard on Tim and try to make sure that Tim wasn't able to just pick us apart. And we knew that they like to play through the middle, and when they played through the middle, we wanted to really jump on their players, win balls, and play forward and get into transition. So those were some things that I thought we did well.
Andrew Jones.
Thanks again. Congrats on the win. Jesse, just wanted to ask about Fonzie in terms of his captaining, especially with his defensive work and slowing down Ricardo at the end with Maxine saving the shot, holding down K. Cowell, just his leadership and his performance. And what happened with the fourth official with the sub? Did they give you explanation?
See, I threw a bottle a little bit. I kind of threw a bottle. I was trying speaking Spanish. I said cambio. I was trying to get them. They didn't want to change our players ever. And they wanted to wait in like 3-4 pauses, but we got him out there. Fonzie, my favorite moment of the match is when he sprinted back with Brendan Aronson when it looked like he had an advantage and sprinted all the way to defend and make sure that he wasn't going to have a chance to get in on the attack and at our goal. And then he celebrated after he did it, right? Like, and like the mentality that Fonzie has developed to be at his best, to do everything for the team, and to be not just a good attacking player and a good player on the ball, but a lockdown defender, has been fantastic. So yeah, that was probably my favorite moment of the match.
Ronald Blum.
Jesse, a lot of teams coming off tournaments and tough competitive matches can have a letdown going into a friendly. What approach did you take with them to guard against that?
Yeah, I'm challenging them to commit to the process at the highest level. And the balance that I give them is like, when we train, we work really hard, and I demand a high level of concentration and high level of commitment. And then I manage the downtime and make sure that we have an enjoyable environment, that we have good relationships. And then I try to make sure that before matches that that we come in some of the loading to make sure they're fresh and ready to push in the match. But I think that they're really enjoying what we're doing, and they see the how, the why, the what, and it gives them excitement, it gives them inspiration, it gives them belief, and it gives them the desire to give their best. And by the way, they're like this anyway. They're amazing men, and I'm just trying to continue to push them to be better footballers, and that's been the biggest emphasis.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.